Firebird, this is Summernats. No burnouts. Well, this has been a long time coming. This has been a long time coming. We're on our way to Summernats, and I have no idea what Summernats is. That was on purpose because I thought it would be more fun if I have no idea what Summernats is. But everyone told me, if you like the random cars on the streets of Sydney, you will really like Summernats. I hear screeching tires. I can smell screeching tires. I see where we're parking. We're parking between the Holden Ute and the Maserati. Look at this thing. Oh, I love this truck. It has actual mold and mildew on it. Look at this patina here, paint crazing. This vehicle has stories. This vehicle has history. That's yours?
I've had it for 35 years.
Yeah, 35 years? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, because before ran 35 years ago, beautiful stuff.
Is this a line to get in? Oh my God, I think this is the line to get in. This is prepaid?
Yeah.
Okay. We're in the right line. Welcome to YouTube. It's like TikTok for people with attention spans. The Max Headroom movie from the 80s features these commercials called blipverts. And it's like a highly condensed, distilled commercial. And they just bombard you with stimuli as fast as they can. And the company that they were advertising is called Zigzag. Zigzag? TikTok? I might get a little existential waiting in the line here. I apologize in advance. Someone once said, we are all living and dying at the same time. And then she died. And now she's just dying. You are nothing more than the sum of your actions. You are what you do. Summernats! Summernats! I know what we could talk about while we're waiting. I wrote a book. As you may know, I come from an alternate timeline where a cataclysmic event happened in 1981, and no new cars were built for 40 years. But me and my friends, we reopened a car factory, and we started building new cars after the apocalypse. And that story is told here in my book, Heads Will Rock, a chronicle of post-apocalyptic mayhem. This book is linked in the description.
Like taking a 5-year-old to the zoo.
I'm glad that you appreciate my enthusiasm. I'm worried about those cars screaming. We appear to be entering some sort of labyrinth. Summernats! We have the coveted holographic wristband giving us access to this lovely event now. The time for being existential is over. The time for wondering is over. We're about to have our questions answered. What is Summernats? Summernats clearly has something to do with cars. Loud cars. Let's go in and find out more. There's smoke over here. Perhaps I can render some aid. There's some sort of a fire. What are they doing? Is some sort of addiction? of a tire is to provide traction. So they clearly have some sort of a traction problem over here. I'm sure they'll get it worked out and then they can come back and try again. So because of his traction problem, he eventually had a blowout as well. And so he's going to work on fixing that and then he'll be back out again. Hopefully he can get it all worked out. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're losing traction like that, you take your foot off of the throttle and that way you can regain traction and it'll prevent you from having a blowout. I've spotted an unknown vehicle. A Toyota Corolla with one L. Yes, we have Toyota Corollas in the United States, but I've never seen one like this and I've never seen it spelled with one L. Nom nom. Well, like they say, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few legs. No. They do not sponsor me. You do not buy Shannons. Do not buy Shannons. It's the worst insurance that there is.
That you use.
I don't use Shannons. These colors are electric. They vibrate. I love it. Purple, pink, and neon blue. Summernats is so big, it has its own grocery store. This is amazing. I love this thing. Purple and green go together so well. Whoa, go get a shot of this baby. Holden, Commodore, SS, Group A. This haunted vehicle includes real cobwebs for authenticity. I see some cars coming. I think they're noisy cars. Australia, I have something to tell you. I want you to know that I can see you. I can see you, I can hear you, and I can smell you. And I like what you're doing. When an outsider comes into your world and gives you their perspective on it, it allows you to see your own world with fresh eyes. there is a luminescent pink Maloo over here. It has engravings inside the lenses of the taillights, and it has textured underlays beneath the pink wrap. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm hating exactly. I might have done it a little differently myself. I normally say that I like crazy colored, candy colored cars that look like they're rotting your teeth out. This car looks like I could use it to brush my teeth. I see something else pink over here. I really don't like pink cars that much. It's just that I love how strange and unique they are, and I love weird colors. And yes, I was told that the pink Tiranas are extremely rare.
We had one of these. Yeah. The XU1, the LA. Yes. And these things.
This is a great color combination, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is not factory, but I'm praying that someone will correct me and tell me that this was a factory option. Purple with orange stripes and a red stripe in the middle. I guess Ford did something similar. They did have a purple and orange Falcon, so maybe this is factory. Lots and lots of plastic body kit, but the car was fast as hell, so you can't pick on it. And it does look kind of cool. I mean, especially if you're a kid in the 80s and you see that going by. In the United States, we had a time known as the Malaise era. It went from 1975 on to the mid-80s. The cause of the Malaise era was catalytic converters and unleaded fuel. Australia waited 11 more years after the US to require catalytic converters and unleaded fuel. It gave car technology enough time to catch up and find other ways to make power. And that means they never had a Malaise era here. They just kept making muscle cars all through the 70s and 80s and 90s, and they kept making them up until today. The muscle car era just never ended in Australia. I wish I could have been here. In the United States, we just gave up. Ford Superbird panel van? Customize BSS. Oh, this is gorgeous. There are Sandmen in so many different colors here. '70s avocado green. We had a refrigerator in this color. I love that the steering wheel on the Sandman is the same as the Pontiac Trans Am steering wheel. I have a Pontiac Trans Am and it has that steering wheel on it. Just has a different horn button. These colors are great together. Great pinstriping. Pinstriping is hit or miss with me. Sometimes I just don't like it. I don't think it goes with the car. It's not the quality of the striping, just some cars don't seem to look good with pinstriping, or they've done too much of it. I think they've nailed it with this one. There's a Shannon's logo. There's fake duct tape on this car because real duct tape, it can get pretty pricey. Let's take a moment to remember the original hot rodding movement that started it all. Take a car from the 30s and make it go fast in the 50s. Before I came to Australia, I watched videos about the differences between Australian English and American English. And in one of the videos, they said, "A chippy's a gavada." And I was like, what did he say? Rewind. "A chippy's a gavada." Rewind again. "A chippy's a gavada." A chippy is a carpenter. Mighty boy! You used to be able to get this stuff in the United States for a couple of years. I fell in love with it and they stopped selling it. I came to Australia, it was like 30 years later, and you guys have this stuff. I love it so much. Traction can be a lot of fun, but it can also be dangerous. So be sure to practice as much as you can in empty parking lots. It's purple metal flake. It's lovely. I just found out that they did sell some Camaros new in Australia. They officially did it through HSV. And so GM actually sold Camaros new in Australia, but they had been built in the US, left-hand drive, and then they had to be converted. A very small number, obviously, because of a huge pain in the butt. That was Friday at Summernats, but we're not done yet. We're going to be coming back for Saturday. As far as I can tell, Summernats is an event for people who hate their cars and want to destroy them. They also clearly hate mufflers and tires. You can see the smoke in the distance. It's either a house fire or Summernats. Parking was a little bit of a fiasco today. We had to get a little creative, as many other people have had to do. Purple Ford Falcon. We need more purple cars in the United States. We get very few Mitsubishis in the United States, and in this case I think that's for the best. Another purple Ford Falcon, even better condition, with these gorgeous headlights. Our mission for today is to find the automotive carnage and low standards Mazda RX-3. There's a couple different YouTube channels, and they kind of collaborated to make this car. The guy found this car out in the outback, and he banged the dents out of it. And he gave the car to another guy, and he put an engine in it. And apparently it now does mad skids.
No, it's always always good seeing all the Aussie cars. I'd love to go to America and see some of their cars.
Oh yeah.
A lot of nice cars here today.
Well, I figure I got 40 years of the USA, so now I'm going to have my next 40 years are going to be here, hopefully, if you guys will have me. Mad Max, Interceptor, black on black, Ford Falcon. Yes! It's glorious! If you want to see one in person, they're doing a weekend with Max very soon. They're going to have Roger Ward out there. He played Fifi.
Hey fella, stop! You're a turkey, you know that?
Alright. Cheers, bro.
He deserved one of my books. It turns out that our improvised parking led us to a much better entrance anyway. You just walk in the door and you're like surrounded by cars that are revving their engines and doing burnouts. I don't know which entrance this is, but this is the better one. We should go talk to the people down here that are like looking through the gates. Do you guys not have tickets or what? You're just watching from outside the gates?
We're just hanging out.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sold out, mate.
You still got a pretty good view though. I mean,
bad.
the best part of this has been like where we walk around and just watch the cars cruise.
Yeah.
So I think you got a decent view.
Yeah, it's not bad for free, mate.
Rock me, Amadeus! We found the shiny cars. See, I have a problem with these cars too. These cars are never driven. The cars out there are abused, and the cars in here are pampered. I mean, why can't we do something in between? Suzuki, mighty boy! The wheels are in the trunk, and the trunk is what used to be the bed. You gotta see this. I had never seen a Suzuki Mighty Boy, and people were telling me I was going to love it when I found one, and I found one a couple months ago at a car show. Yeah, they're so adorable. Like, we don't have anything like this in the US.
You got cappuccinos, so they're the same thing, but you got the little convertibles.
We never got the Suzuki Cappuccino either.
Really?
I saw one of those for the first time in Australia too.
Yeah, right, because we didn't get them here.
Well, right, it was a special import here too, yeah.
England got cappuccinos, I thought America did as well.
No, we did
Just
not.
Europe?
We don't get any tiny cars, we don't get any K
You
cars.
can import these now, because they're over 30
Right,
years
we
old.
could import them, but I'd never seen one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can import one.
Yeah, well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll buy this one off you. Blue with orange plaid seats. It sounds ridiculous, looks great. Look at those stripes. There is a station wagon culture in the US, but I think it's a little bit more enthusiastic in Australia. I rode in station wagons as a kid, and I would watch my dad shifting gears, and I thought what it would be like when I finally got to drive a car. And then when I did finally get to drive a car, I would drive my parents' old station wagons. And somewhere along the way, I just fell in love with station wagons. They say the fastest car is a rental car because you don't care what happens to it. Well, my dad's station wagons were pretty fast too. I love two-door station wagons. It's kind of a hatchback, but longer. I see you, Australia. I don't know why the rest of the world doesn't see you, Australia. Australia has been ignored for too long. You guys are doing amazing things here. If you ever find yourself getting bored with the car culture in your country, well, no wonder, because the best stuff is happening here. Australia has everything. If you like American cars, we got that. If you like American cars made in Australia, we got that. If you like Japanese cars, we got that. If you like Japanese cars made in Australia, we got that too. We got European cars. We got European cars that were made in Australia. We got Chinese cars. We got cars from India. hand-painted, pinstriped flames. At one point in the 2000s or so, they said, oh, we have the talent and the technology to start painting realistic flames on cars. It looked terrible. Why would you do that? Why would you want your car to look like it's on fire? I don't care if you built it or you bought it. I don't care if you paid someone to build it for you. But drive it. They're playing In Excess. When I first came to Australia, I assumed that the radio would be all different from the radio in the US. I assumed it would be like In Excess, AC/DC, Midnight Oil, and things that I'd never heard. And unfortunately, that's not completely the case. Mostly the whole world apparently plays the same songs on the radio. One thing I've always loved about cars is they seem to be one of the few things that brings every culture on Earth together. And I'm sure someone will point out, well, not the Buddhists on the top of Mount Everest or something, but you know what I mean. Like, there are all kinds of cultures that you would think would have nothing in common, but there are car lovers in those cultures all over the world. As you may know from watching YouTube, all you have to advertise your video is a tiny little thumbnail and a very short description of about 8 words. And so you have to do the most you can do with that little thumbnail. And unfortunately, I'm afflicted with a condition known as normal-sized eyeballs, and so I'm not very good at making thumbnails. So I've gotten this prosthetic medical device to assist me in creating YouTube thumbnails. I've been told that in Australia, if you scream Aussie, 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 everyone around you has to scream oi, oi, oi. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm going to try it out. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! There we go, you know it, right? Well, we got one guy to scream it. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! There we go. It's true. Yes! Yeah. Good to see you, man. I got a cap for you here.
Yeah, fucking
I also got a book, too. There you go, man.
Yeah, hey, like and subscribe. You know, that's Summernats 23. Big business.
I'm Wasteland Firebird.
Awesome, man. I love the stuff.
Okay, Friday was great. But Saturday, it suddenly becomes clear what Summernats is all about. It's a crowd, it's a party, it's obnoxious, it's noisy, you can't see anything, and it's wonderful. I have no idea what this is, but I love it. It has a Chrysler symbol on it. I'm gonna go with it has a Mopar motor in it, but it's some sort of a Britishy van. This is actually restoring my faith in Australia, because when I got here I noticed the speed limits were so low and they're enforced with cameras and average speed cameras. It's like, where are we supposed to go to have fun? Well, I found where we're supposed to go to have fun. We come to Summernats! You know what you guys could do? He's got the bin over there. He's got the bin over there for trash. I guess they don't want to help. I was gonna help. Look, see, we could pick up some trash. See, look at this. Looks like Woodstock out here. The kids weren't on board with helping. They're like, oh my God, stranger, stranger danger. So here we have a combination of unrealistic flames and realistic flames. Okay, I gotta admit, that looks kind of cool. Some trends are just completely random. People just want to see change for the sake of change. And so maybe that's what happened with utes, is when they introduced these to Australia, Australians said yes, and when they introduced them to the United States, Americans said no. We've seen this one before. That's the low standards and automotive carnage Mazda RX-3. Go for a ride? Can we go for a ride with you? Are we allowed to do that? Oh, awesome! Thanks.
Walk left and wide the window down, knock the window down before you shut the door.
Did you see the rocks on your car?
Yep. How's when Honor Park was still around, so would have been 26 years ago he saw that. Yeah. The car's a piss for every minute it skids. Start. I'll stake on it. You got my word. The car's a piss for 1 minute. Go on, send it. Come on, let's go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard you had to get like 3 strikes. Is that right? 1 strike? Okay.
We had 2 of our friends get kicked out yesterday and they didn't even get any warnings. Just give us a taste! Just a taste, mate! Just a little sample! Just a little taste! Just a taste! Just get into it! Just a little bit! Come on! Do it! Drop it!
your amazing car.
Thanks, mate.
Stabbing his mark on the rod shot burnout pad here as previously Summernats 35. Give it up for Rick Fuller.
He goes to Tasco's and
I say stupid things. I'm like, I don't know what that car is. I don't know what that car is, but I love them all.
did Summernats meet your expectations?
I had no expectations. I did not know what it was. I swear. I went into it like I don't want you to tell me what it is. I'm just gonna show up. I love the skid marks on your face. There's a De Tomaso Pantera here. Ford motor, Italian styling. What else do you need? It's gorgeous. Yes, we're better than this. They actually drive it that low. I saw it sitting that low in the show. I didn't know they actually drove it that low. They spent all this money on a nice paint job and then they scratched it on the ground. Well, the Pontiac GTO and the Pontiac G8, they were amazing, great cars. And it was a great way for Pontiac to say goodbye to the world, but I wish more people had bought them because I absolutely loved them.
What do you reckon to the average American if they saw just fucking Commodore cruising around?
Yeah, I know. That's
They
the
love
thing.
it? They fucking love it.
That's the
wouldn't they?
thing, is just everything in this country they would love. I mean, the Fords and the Holdens and everything. Like, it's just a whole parallel universe that we have not gotten to see, and they don't even know about it.
You heard it first.
They don't
If you
even
wanna
know
turn
about
it. If America, if you want to turn it up, come to fucking Australia.
That's the thing, if
This
you-
is where it goes down at.
You guys are not paying enough attention to Australia. It has everything the US has and more.
And more!
I get it now. Summernats is not just about destroying your car. It's about destroying your car, putting it back together, and coming back next year to do it all over again. I'm Wasteland Firebird. Thank you for inviting me into your home or onto your portable device. And thank you, Australia, for inviting me into your country. Have a good night. Thanks to Mad Skelly for the camera work.